Chair calls the Greenwood Leflore Consolidated School District Board meeting to order. Today is November 3rd, 5 o'clock p.m. Could we please bow our heads for a moment of silent prayer? Amen. Chair will entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
It has been motioned and second. All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion is carried. We'll start off by saying that on last week, we went to Greenwood High School's coronation. Beautiful queens and handsome kings. We're looking forward to going to Amanda Elsie High School next week for our final coronation. At this time, we will have our superintendent's report, Dr. Kenneth Pulley.
Good afternoon. Goal number 1 is to increase student achievement. Our administrators, teachers, and students are working really hard to improve results. We have established a district-wide student intervention team who will work directly with students to increase student achievement in all subject areas. 4.5-week assessments will be administered to students on next week. Current student enrollment is 4,095. On Friday, October 29th, Bankston Elementary School held a breast cancer awareness walk. This event was well attended by school board members, members of our community, and our parents. We would like to extend great appreciation to our community partners for donating goodie bags and treats for our teachers and students. We also would like to thank Mrs. Emma Littleton for working with us to organize this event. Leflore County High School football team won the District 2A Region 3 championship. Congratulations to Coach House and the Leflore County High School Tigers for a job well done. We wish you much success in the playoffs. The first playoff game will be this Friday night at home against Potts Camp High School at 7 o'clock p.m. I would also like to recognize the football teams and coaches at Amanda Elsie High School and Greenwood High School for a great season. The 2021-2022 basketball season has begun, and all 3 teams have a full schedule of basketball games, and we wish them all well. Thanksgiving break will be observed November 22nd through November 26th. Dr. Kenneth Pulley, Deputy Superintendent, has been selected to serve on the 2021-2022 Accountability Task Force for the Mississippi Department of Education. The Accountability Task Force is a group of stakeholders who provide feedback and recommendations to the MDE in regard to proposed changes to the Mississippi statewide accountability system. Lastly, I would like to say thank you to all of our parents and community members for your continued support of our school district. Without you, our work would be impossible. This concludes the Deputy Superintendent's report.
Thank you, Dr. Pulley. And I also would like to give a shout out to Mrs. Emma Bell with the Fannie Lou Hamer Foundation and also Bankston Elementary School for honoring me as a breast cancer survivor. Chair will entertain a motion to receive the superintendent's report.
Second.
It has been motioned and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion is carried. First on our
Madam
agenda.
President,
Go ahead.
should the minutes reflect that we accept the Deputy Superintendent's report?
Yes, board members, Deputy Superintendent report.
The minutes should reflect. All right, at this time, we have,
One thing.
Go ahead.
And I apologize for now. The school at risk report and the additional targeted school and interventions report for East Elementary School and Leflore County Elementary School, Ms. Coleman.
After analysis of the first 9 weeks assessment, the strategic plan for East Elementary School and Leflore County Elementary School has been modified to standardize school improvement practices. Data meetings have been held with the principals and the district administrators. Data meetings have been held with the school improvement team, principals, and teachers. Currently, teachers are conducting data meetings with students and parents. During the first quarter of the year, support from chiefs and specialists included direct support to teachers. Moving forward, support will continue with teachers, but continue and extend to direct instructional intervention with students 4 days per week. Improvements have been made in tracking data more frequently with the implementation of biweekly assessments and the strict employment of daily fluency drills in all subject areas.
Ms. Coleman?
Yes, ma'am.
Those two schools are required to have functioning P16 councils.
Correct.
Are they in place?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how often do they meet?
They meet monthly.
Okay,
On last year, Ms. Collins was leading that charge. This year, Ms. Purnell leads that charge. So
okay.
they have monthly meetings.
Do they meet in their schools or do they meet out here?
Last year, they met virtually due to the pandemic, and we began this year virtually. But eventually, we would like to move to face-to-face meetings.
You're still virtual now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is that for any stakeholder if they wanted to?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Any other question, board members? Thank you, Ms. Coleman.
Yes, ma'am.
We have Delta Health Alliance, Leflore Promise Community LPC Project Abstract. In our midst today, we have the Principal Investigator, Dr. Karen Matthews, and the Project Director, Allison Poindexter, and they will address the board at this time. Ladies, if you will come forward. You can use that mic, but the microphone right there. Yes. Can you turn it on, ma'am, so we can hear you?
Thank you.
Is this it right here? Hello? Yeah,
Yes.
okay. I'm sorry. I'm Karen Matthews, and Allison Poindexter, who is the project director, is waving at you. She's passing out just a little form to let you know that y'all approved last year, so it's been a while, or maybe it was back in the spring. It's been a long time. Carolyn Willis, who used to be the vice president and project director before Allison, was from Leflore County and passed away this last July, and worked really hard on this particular project so that we would have a third promise community in the Mississippi Delta. And we received this a few weeks ago, and have told the city council about it, and now would like to tell you about it, and would like to hopefully get started in January. It is a 5-year, $30 million project to help all of the schools in Leflore County from cradle to career, improve scores, improve the life of the children, to lift children up, have them ready for school, have them graduated, have them either in college or in a career that they're trained for. We're prepared to do all sorts of wraparound services to help these children. We've listed a little bit of that here on these pages. We just had a meeting with the chair and the assistant superintendent, and hopefully Allison and the assistant superintendent can sort of get down to the details of this. We hope to start in January. It's unfortunate that the award has been awarded in the middle of a school year, but we will get started with some programs and then get really, really busy in the summer, and then at the beginning of next school year, we'll be all over Greenwood. We have a lot of people that we're going to hire. We will have office space in Greenwood. We will be in the schools as we're allowed. And we've done this in Indianola, Hollandale, and Leland, and have been very successful. We hope to be successful here. When we started 10 years ago doing this, we started with an F school district that's now a B. So we've worked really hard in collaboration with the school districts to try to lift these children, individually where they need to be lifted. and what the school district thinks they do. We really ask for your support. We ask for the school district support because collaboration is going to mean everything for this project. I will entertain any questions if the chair would like me to do that, but we're very excited about this and hope that y'all can work with us. I'm sure we'll have a lot of questions and need a lot of information to get started with this, but that's my report.
Any questions, board members?
I don't have a question, but I did want to say a commendation to Ms. Carolyn Willis, who was a tremendous asset to the entire Delta, and certainly our sympathy to y'all as your community at Delta Health Alliance, but to our community too. She is responsible for getting this information to us that will benefit many people, so we just want to extend
She
that.
was. A lot of communities wanted to do this, and Carolyn pushed very hard for it to be Leflore County because it was her home community, and she worked very hard on this grant, and so she really put all the children in the Delta, but definitely the children of Leflore County before anything. So thank you.
So thank you for coming to see us on today. I appreciate you meeting with me. Dr. Matthews and Ms. Poindexter will be working directly with Dr. Kenneth Pulley, who is our Deputy Superintendent.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, ladies, for coming.
Thank you.
Dr. Pulley.
4.2, 16th section land report. Mr. Angel.
We did advertise for hunting and fishing lease. It's 101.4 acres. Anything between the north and west. We did not receive any bids on that. Any kind of other situation, we advertised a couple times. The only recourse we have is to advertise it. Hopefully we've got someone to bid on that piece of property. I did have to send one bid packet out on the track, and I thought they would bid on it.
And you talking about on 6 and 7.
Talking at the, about the end of page 2, all the way through page 3.
So I guess we have different page numbers maybe.
We should, on this report, we should have a total of 3 pages.
Yeah, but ours is page 5, 6, 7. 5, 6, and 7.
Just to make sure we cover the individuals, we have John
Okay. So, I get on the first ones, you want us to advertise again, and then the names, you want us to do what?
So the first one, advertise the hunting, fishing, trap back, and then of course, all the others are agricultural leases that we're gonna go ahead and put in the paper. And we're gonna advertise those 2 times in the December meeting. And then if you notice, I stated on there, lease the following lease over to fail to comply with the annual minimum provision.
Correct.
And so you'll see those names with those monies that were due to the school district for this calendar year. And as mentioned, I submitted final notice and they simply did not happen. So we filed cancellation for those contracts with the clerk, and then we send them a recorded version of cancellation, and hopefully those folks come back in and catch up on the rent and get a new.
Okay,
Question? Question, Madam
go
President?
ahead.
Ms. Ainsworth, you said hopefully catch up, back up on their rent. Do we have any legal standing?
Absolutely. If they don't come in and pay the rent, they don't, for one thing, if they have improvements on the land, and there's not a lien on it, in other words, not all monies have been borrowed to have that structure there, then the school district legally can take those improvements and sell those improvements if there's not a lien holder. If there's a lien holder, we'll have to get in touch with the lien holder and ask them to come in and get a new lease at the school, and they bill back.
So what is the process of seeking those funds? Is that through you or through our legal counsel?
Well, typically what I would do, I would send out the cancellations, report cancellations, and asking those folks to make good on
Mm-hmm.
back rent, and if they ignore us in that scenario, then we'll have to do a title search of records, to see if there's a lien holder, the deed of trust on record, if the deed of trust can be notified to the lender,
Okay.
and ask if they come in and go through that.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Ms. Lewis.
Mr. Ainsworth, on these, recreational properties, in the event they do not pay, what happens, is that land posted, or what? What keeps them off of there?
Well, what keeps them off, then we'll have to do an eviction notice. There's a structure there, we'll have someone from this office go put an eviction notice and ask that they be removed from that piece of property. But before we do that, we need to see if there's a lien holder. Because if there's a lien holder, we need to contact the lien holder. If there's any monies that are significant on that structure, the lien holder's gonna come in and make good on making the payment and getting the new lease. Okay, so we have recourse.
Okay.
So I hope I'm getting this right, Mr. Ainsworth. So the chair will entertain a motion to advertise again for the hunting and fishing contract. Chair will entertain a motion to approve to file a termination notice for, pages 5 and 6, and then on 6 and 7, file for cancellation notices.
Correct.
Is that a motion? So moved.
Second.
It has been motioned and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion is carried. Thank you, Mr. Ainsworth.
You're welcome, thank you.
Dr. Pulley.
4.3, approval to adopt board policy GAEC, whistleblower protection.
Board members, this is the whistleblower policy that we discussed at work session. The changes were made to include Mrs. Abraham's observation regarding this policy that initially only referred to immediate supervisors, but we did amend the policy to include any district personnel or any other district employee who's engaged in improper government action, that these reports can be made against those individuals as well. But other than that, everything else stayed the same.
Dr. Pulley.
The deputy superintendent recommends that the school board suspend board policy BDC, board policy adoption, in order to immediately approve the adoption of board policy GAEC, whistleblower protections.
Chair will entertain a motion to suspend board policy BDC, board policy adoption, in order to immediately approve the adoption of board policy GAEC, whistleblower protections.
So moved. Second.
It has been motioned and second. All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion is carried. Chair also would like to go back, some kind of way it was left off of our agenda. So I want to amend the agenda to include, for number 7, consideration of executive session, making number 8 adjourn. Once again, number 7, consideration of executive session, and number 8, adjourn. Chair will entertain a motion to amend the agenda.
So moved. Second.
It has been motioned and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion is carried. Can I get a motion to can I get a motion to approve the amended agenda?
So moved.
It's been motioned and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion is carried. Dr. Pulley.
4.4, approval to submit the Mississippi Office of Homeland Security grant. The purpose of this grant is to provide funds to the district to assist in the prevention and protection of cyber attacks and security breaches. It will also assist in upgrading current hardware systems. The grant amount is $25,000. We were in receipt of this information just a few days ago, and we did not want to miss out on the opportunity to submit for the possibility of receiving these funds to assist with that. Cybersecurity is something that has been an increasing conversation in our state and among our school districts due to some interruptions in school, in school business and school services and school systems. And so we are asking for approval to submit this particular grant.
Go ahead, Ms. Lewis.
Mr. Pulley,
Yes, ma'am.
Attorney Pulley, do we presently have any, policies on cyber attacks?
Without me looking, I'm almost 100% sure that we do. I do know that the district, I believe last year, and I think we did this year as well, we have insurance that will cover certain cyber attacks. I don't know who that's with, but I do know that's a part of the coverage that we do pay for with the district. But I do think we do have a policy. I can double check that and let you know.
And could you pull it if you
Yes.
would? Okay, thank you.
Any other question, board members? Chair will entertain a motion to approve to submit the Mississippi Office of Homeland Security grant.
So moved.
It's been motioned and second. All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion is carried. Dr. Pulley.
4.5, approval of request for proposals for professional development services, ELA curriculum, and content instructional strategies. The Greenwood Leflore Consolidated School District is soliciting proposals from consulting firms to provide services in the subject of ELA related to job-embedded professional development, instructional coaching, lesson planning and pacing, technology integration, acceleration, and enrichment for the term of 2021-2022 school year. Consultants would provide services during this school year in elementary and secondary schools to support teachers and students through modeling, analyzing data, observations with actionable feedback, and instructional delivery infused with differentiated instruction.
Any questions or discussions or observation, board members?
I would like for those who do apply to be able to have a short presentation to the board if possible.
Dr. Pulley, is that permissible or permitted on the front end?
We could adjust the proposals to include a presentation of some sort here, I think, because we would have to list it in here prior to the advertising. So I think we would have to list it here, and we can add it here and then send it to you all, pending.
President,
Go ahead.
either you or Ms. Abraham can help me out. So there's already a rubric that is used, that I believe the board approved, that you all use to grade the proposals that are submitted, correct? So, Ms. Abraham, would you want the presentation to occur after that proposal has been graded and maybe a recommended consulting firm is presented, or before then? Does that make sense?
It does make sense. I really would like to hear from anybody that is, unless we have tons of them, that type of situation. I don't know that I was in on the rubric thing, but I'm only one person.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
I'd like to hear from the different consulting firms that are answering the RFP. If that's possible, but I'm one vote, so.
So, Dr. Pulley, you say you can make it happen?
The only thing we would need to do is add that as a particular specification there that, that a presentation would be required prior to, awarding of the contract.
So can you add it? I'm asking.
Yeah, oh, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. So you wanna go on with the motion? With the, recommendation? Sorry about that.
The Deputy Superintendent recommends approval of the request for proposals for professional development services, ELA curriculum, and content instructional strategy.
Chair will entertain a motion to approve the request for proposals for professional development services, ELA curriculum, and content instructional strategies.
So moved. Second.
It's been motioned and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion is carried. Dr. Pulley.
4.6, approval of request for proposals for professional development services, history curriculum, and content instructional strategies. And this particular RFP is similar. It would be just the subject of history.
Any questions, discussions, or observations, board members? Dr. Pulley?
And we will make that adjustment on.
Yes, sir.
The Deputy Superintendent recommends approval of the request for proposals for professional development services, history curriculum, and content instructional strategies.
Go ahead, Ms. Lewis.
What happens, and I'm just asking, if these people are allowed to make a presentation, when the requests are graded or scored, they outscore, for instance, I outscored Dr. Bailey, but the board is more impressed with a person's presentation. But I'm just asking. That's on my mind. It's just food for thought.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
With the presentation, my assumption in the presentation would be after scoring, then presentations would be required before the school board prior to any recommendations or
Prior to school board approval.
approval. Mhm.
Any other questions, board members? Did you already make it? You did, didn't you?
Yes. Mhm.
Chair will entertain a motion to approve the request for proposals for professional development services, history curriculum, and content instructional strategies.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and second. All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion is carried. Dr. Pulley.
4.7, approval of request for proposals for professional development services, math curriculum, and content instructional strategies. And we will make those necessary corrections. The Deputy Superintendent recommends approval of the request for proposals for professional development services, math curriculum, and content instructional strategies.
Chair will entertain a motion to approve the request for proposals for professional development services, math curriculum, and content instructional strategies.
So moved.
It's been motioned and second. All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion is carried. And just for the record, we want to make sure that there's no confusion, that the district is the one that chooses. It just is the board just votes it up or down. So we just voted up or down. But the administration or the committee or whatever, they make the decision, and the board votes it up or down. So we're not in that day-to-day process. Just want to make that known. All right, Dr. Pulley.
And board members also, to be clear, the rubric is also not graded by the board.
Correct.
Is what you stated. The rubric is graded by the administration. And prior to the board approval, the entities who respond to the RFPs will not be provided scores of,
Based on the board.
they would not be provided scores based on their presentation, and they would
Right.
not be provided scores based upon, they would not be provided the other responders' scores to know what's what. This is just solely for the board to
Correct.
be able to give a more face-to-face interaction with those who are responding to RFPs.
Thank you, Attorney Pulley. Dr. Pulley.
4.8, approval of request for proposals for professional development services, science curriculum, and in content instructional strategies. The Deputy Superintendent recommends approval of the request for proposals for professional development services, science curriculum, and content instructional strategies.
Chair will entertain a motion to approve the request for proposals for professional development services, science curriculum, and content instructional strategies.
So moved.
It's been motioned and second. All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion is carried. Dr. Pulley.
4.9, approval of inventory removal, Ms. Coleman.
The Chromebooks on the attached list were damaged and sent to the Claim Center for repair. The Claim Center determined the value to repair the devices, which surpassed the cost to purchase new devices. The company mailed checks for 50 devices between March 1st, 2021 and October 15th, 2021, totaling $11,863.91. The Chromebooks and payments were verified by the technology supervisor.
The Deputy Superintendent recommends that the school board approve the removal of the Chromebooks from the attached inventory list.
Chair will entertain a motion to approve the removal of the Chromebooks from the attached inventory list.
Second.
It's been motioned and second. All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion is carried. Dr. Pulley.
4.10, approval to pay migrant English learners homeless assistance, Ms. Coleman.
The employees attached to the list worked during the summer to provide registration support to migrant students, English language learners, and homeless families. The rate of pay has been established by the district and outlined in their at-will agreements and is part of our federal application and is already included. The aforementioned employees worked a total of 10 days for 8 hours between July 19th and July 30th.
Dr. Pulley, this is one of the forms that, if the board wanted to see it, you had it available, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
The timesheets.
Yes, ma'am.
So board members, if you would like to see those timesheets, they are available through Dr. Pulley. We were just trying to save paper.
They also clocked in using our time clock so it can be verified through our business office.
Dr. Pulley.
The Deputy Superintendent recommends school board approval to pay for services performed by the EL staff for translation services to parents during the 2021-2022 registration.
Chair will entertain a motion to approve to pay for services performed by the EL staff, the individuals listed above, for translation services to parents during the 21-22 registration.
So moved.
Second.
It has been motioned and second. All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion is carried. Dr. Pulley.
4.11, approval of special education official allocations for FY 21-22. The Special Education Department held a budget hearing in June with preliminary budget information. Therefore, MDE has released the official allocations for the special education budget for FY 21-22 school year. Part B, 611, and ARP is $1,793,378, and preschool is $88,733. To ensure compliance, the official allocation amounts will need to be approved by the board.
Any question, board members? Dr. Pulley.
The Deputy Superintendent recommends that the school board approve the official special education allocations for the FY 21-22 school year.
Chair will entertain a motion to approve the official special ed allocations for 21-22 school year.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and second. All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion is carried. Dr. Pulley.
4.12, approval of special education student to work program. The Special Education Department should provide students with disabilities transportations to their work sites. The students' IEPs indicate the need for these services as relates to their transition post-secondary outcomes and goals. This request asks for the following individuals to transport students at Amanda Elsie High School and Greenwood High School. To ensure compliance and IEP implementation, these services will need to be approved.
Any questions, board members? So, Dr. Pulley, so it would just be
Yes,
two
ma'am,
high
and-
school?
and
Okay.
Leflore County High School.
Okay, I was just getting ready to say, so can you,
ma'am.
just make sure that it's all three high schools?
The Deputy Superintendent recommends that the school board approve the transportation services for students with disabilities to their work sites at all three high schools in regards to the rules and regulations of IDEA and for the implementation of IEPs as required by the MDE Office of Special Education.
Chair will entertain a motion to approve the transportation services for students with disabilities to their work sites in regards to the rules and regulations of IDEA and the implementations of IEPs as required by the MDE Office of SPED, and that is for students at Greenwood High School, Amanda Elsie High School, and Leflore County High School.
So moved.
Second.
It has been motioned and second. All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion is carried. Dr. Pulley.
4.13, approval of the submission of community facilities grant through North Central Planning and Development District. Mr. Johnson.
The Greenwood Leflore Consolidated School District is requesting permission to allow North Central Planning and Development District to apply for the USDA Rural Development Grant for the purchasing of 6 Office of Organizational Support maintenance vehicles and a district vehicles. You have the attached resolution on the back of that page.
Any questions, observations, board members, or discussion? Dr. Pulley.
The Deputy Superintendent recommends school board approval of the North Central Planning and Development District grant resolutions for the purchasing of district vehicles and authorizes the Deputy Superintendent to sign required grant documents.
Chair will entertain a motion to approve the North Central Planning and Development District grant resolutions for the purchasing of district vehicles and authorizes the Deputy Superintendent to sign required grant documentation.
Second.
It has been motioned and second. All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion is carried. Dr. Pulley.
4.14, claims document and financial information. Mrs. Washington.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Today I have the monthly financial reports for the month ending September. The following reports are attached: your cash balance, fund balance, budget status report, your cash flow statements, bank reconciliation reports, and they're actually for the month of September, and then your claims docket for the month of November. Expenditures to date are within the budget amounts, and the cash balance on hand are sufficient enough to cover immediate and current projected expenses. Does the board have any questions for me?
Thank you, Ms. Washington, for helping me out with the print on the side. But I would like a question that could be for Dr. Pulley. If you all will look at page 2 of 15, claim number 949558. So is that random or incoming, or the claim number again is 949558?
That is, I guess as they go through each month.
As they what?
As they go through each month and process, they send us a bill.
Oh, okay. So they just send you a monthly bill. But I'm asking Dr. Pulley, are these random, or is it just when people initially are employed by the district?
Initial employment.
Initially employed.
Yeah.
Any question, board members?
I don't think so. I don't think they know. Did you see that?
Ms. Flowers, let the record show that Ms. Lewis recused herself.
The Deputy Superintendent recommends that the school board approve the September financial reports and the payment of claims 949497 through 949957.
Chair will entertain a motion to approve the September financial reports and the payment of claims 949497 through 949957. It has been motioned and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion is carried. What page does this end on? Two 27? Okay, Dr. Cook.
Number 5, consent agenda. Attached are items on the consent agenda, and these are minutes that are listed from 5.1 through 5.5. The Deputy Superintendent recommends approval of the consent agenda.
Chair will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. Second. It has been motioned and second. These are the minutes that you approved, correct, Attorney Pulley?
Board members, I have read and reviewed these minutes, and they do accurately reflect and depict the context, the procedures, and all of that from the previous board meetings.
It has been motion and second, all in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion to carry. You got it, Ms. Flowers. Dr. Bailey, motion, and I think I second. All right, Chair will entertain a motion to, close this meeting for consideration.
Number 6.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Number 6, personnel recommendations. Attached is a list of district personnel which requires board approval due to updates in the Human Resources Department. Changes will be made to reflect that personnel recommendations listed in Section 1 that were previously approved are being updated and corrected from the prior board-approved dates listed, February 11, April 6, and July 6, to reflect GLCSD years only. The board is only updating and making the records accurate. For the positions and employees listed in Section 1, the corrections are being made for the record, and there will be no changes to salaries.
Go ahead, Dr. Bailey.
Madam President, on page 251, the third location, those number of years. You follow what I was saying, Dr. Fuller?
Yes, sir.
Any clarification on
We'll make
that? Follow me,
that.
Madam President?
You say the third
The
location?
location, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so, oh,
We'll make that correction.
I mean, is it a correction needed? I just want clarification.
so, go ahead, Mr. Johnson.
And I think if my interpretation of the policy was that if the position changed as a result of a promotion.
Can you speak up?
That if the position change was as a result, it was a promotion, then that's when it would be changed. If it was not a promotion, I would assume they keep their years. That's how the policy read. It said that if they received a promotion.
Attorney Pulley.
I do think that is the spirit of the policy, in which it reads someone who receives a promotion that would reflect. However, practically that doesn't. I'm looking at that. Practically, it's not really correct as it relates to that position.
But Mr. Johnson, you're saying that the years are correct, right?
Based on my interpretation.
From Human Resources.
I just need clarification. Because the concern is that person has not been in that position. But I guess if it's lateral, the years count.
And if you pull that policy, and that's why I make sure I read it again, it said promotion. That's why
That's correct.
Another question, Madam President.
Go ahead.
The fourth location,
On what page?
I'm sorry, for 251. The fourth location, that last name, is that something that's in place?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And the other location in which they're covered?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
The Deputy Superintendent recommends that the school board approve the personnel for the 2021-2022 school year on the attached pages.
Question, Madam President.
Go ahead.
So speaking, help me out, Dr. Pulley.
Yes, sir.
And I apologize for all the questions. Speaking to the policy that Mr. Johnson just referenced, the central office, the second to the last person, that number does not, the year is not accurately reflected. If I understand the policy that Mr. Johnson referenced. Again, if that makes sense.
But that was created this year. They was the chief before.
Right, if I'm not,
So, Mr. Johnson, that should be two.
That change should be made.
So you got two corrections, no, just one correction. So,
Yes,
board
ma'am.
members, you see that, Ms. Abraham, under central office, the one before the last name?
Yes.
So that's the only correction, so we wanna make sure that we make that correction, Ms. Flowers. Thank you for your eagle eyes, Dr. Bailey, Dr. Pulley.
The Deputy Superintendent recommends that the school board approve the personnel for the 2021-2022 school year on the attached pages with the necessary corrections. Due to updates in the Human Resources Department, changes will be made to reflect that personnel recommendations listed in Section 1 that were previously approved are being updated and corrected from the prior board-approved dates listed, February 11th, April 6th, and July 6th, to reflect GLCSD years only. The board is only updating and making the records accurate for the positions and employees listed in Section 1. The corrections have been made for the record, and there will be no changes to salaries.
Chair will entertain a motion to approve the personnel for 21-22 school year on the attached pages with the necessary corrections. Due to updates in the Human Resources Department, changes will be made to reflect that personnel recommendations listed in Section 1 that were previously approved are being updated and corrected from the prior board-approved dates listed, February 11th, April 6th, and July 6th, all of 2021, to reflect GLCSD years only. The board would only be updating and making the records accurate. For the position and employees listed in Section 1, the corrections have been made for the record, and there will be no changes to salaries. On what page?
Page 253. Down at the bottom, the first, second, third, fourth person, that title change.
Oh, yeah, director.
Which one is that?
The fourth one,
The fourth one at the
under
bottom?
central office,
Okay.
From the bottom? Oh, from the top?
from
From
the
the
top.
top.
We have
Yes.
to do, that's,
Yes.
so Ms. Flowers, do you have that? So that still will be included in necessary corrections.
Yes, ma'am.
We just caught it. It is to reflect director.
Mhm.
we voted on this yet? Okay, so I got a question. Dr. Pulley, on page 254, under number 3, what are the duties of that second and third person?
Both of these individuals are replacing vacancies.
But on the high school level, what,
One is lab, the other is, does lab on A, does lab on,
In the correction to that, it should say instructional assistant. That's what it should say, and I think I want to say that's through title, if I'm not mistaken.
We can't hear you, Mr. Johnson.
Instructional assistant is what those should say, and I think they're Title I positions that were being replaced, if I'm not mistaken.
You say Title I positions?
Yes, they was paid through Title I, if I'm not mistaken.
So when they're Title I, help me out, that means they're essential.
But they're paid through federal programs. That's part of what they wrote as part of in their planning document. And if I'm not mistaken, those are who they replacing, the 2 people that left.
but what are they assisting? I mean, did you say they were in the labs or?
well, on the high school campus, when students do have to go to the lab for various reasons, but also to assist with classroom instruction as well. And I'll go, when teachers may not be present, and also just from experience, we utilize those individuals to do some pull-outs depending on where their area of strength is. And so that's, but I do know that they were vacancies, they're not created.
But Mr. Johnson said they're Title I funds. Okay, Chair, want to entertain a motion? It has been motioned and second. All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion is carried. Chair will entertain a motion to close this meeting for consideration of executive session.
So moved.
It has been motioned and second. All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion is carried.